Okay. So the recording has started. Please guys feel free to ask if you guys have any doubts. So let me first tell you what we are going to build, right? It is important to show you. So we are going to build this web application, an HTML chatbot. So what we are going to do is, let me first run it. So this is the application we are going to build. So this is an HTML page chatbot. So what we'll be doing, this is an HTML page, right? We're going to create a chatbot with it, so that we can chat with it. Okay. Now this is a very small HTML page, but in reality, there are big HTML pages in company. Like there are a lot of documentations, lot of. Have you heard of Confluence pages in companies? Uh, right, where companies have a lot of big documentations and lot of things are there, and no one has the time to go.
Sir, like project documents, sir.
Yeah, project documents, right? No one has time to go and read each page one by one, right? For example, let's say, let me tell you, for example, let's say this is a fast API. Let's say this is a fast API documentation. Okay. Now suppose I want to know about it. Now there are so many pages. If you see, there are like one page, second page, third page, right? And if I want to find some information, what will I have to do? I will have to check manually, right? Right. So what will happen? It's a cumbersome process, like that. For example, going and exploring different web pages. In companies, there are unlimited. If you guys have seen, there are like thousands of pages, and it's really very difficult to know where things are lying. Channel name is data sense. I will send you. Yeah. So so that is the reason. So what we are creating an HTML chatbot. Right now we will create with only one page, but we can integrate, like increase it to involve multiple pages as well. So what is going to happen? So for example, let's say this is a web page, right? If you see, this is a, it has some product description. It is some book and how many books are available in stock. And suppose I ask the question to chatbot that let's say how many, for example, how many uh, books are available in stock. So as per the website, now think like this. If I go to ChatGPT and ask, will it be able to, it will not know about this page, right? Now I've created this chatbot specifically with this particular website, so that if I ask how many books are in stock. Okay. Now when I click it, what it will do, it will understand the data from this web page, and it will answer me 22, right? So if you see, 22 is this answer, right? Now suppose I change the question. Let us say I ask, what is the price of the book? Let's say I change the question, what is the price of book? Okay, I click this. So 51 euros 77 cent, 70 cent, right? So this is, it is fetching information from here. Similarly, you can ask, summarize the product for me, something like that. So summarize the product.
Hello, Satvik.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So this is only just a rack, not agentic rack, right?
This is just a RAG. This is not an agentic RAG. We can build agentic RAG around it, not a big deal. So what will happen in agentic RAG? If it is not able to find the information
Google
through
search will go.
this, it will do some web search and it will do. So for that, we'll conduct separately, right?
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Because the objective of this workshop is just to explain you how a chatbot is deployed from end to end, right? And once I conduct an agentic RAG workshop, I will teach you in that what
Sure.
This is just a simple RAG chatbot.
Okay. Before going to the code, you will be explaining the RAG workflow as well, right?
Yeah, I will explain everything. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Is it clear, guys, what we are trying to build? And does it sound interesting to you?
Yes, really is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And let me tell you, this is very, and I'm telling you my personal experience. Over the last 2 months, I have given over uh, more than 50 interviews, to be honest, right? And the RAG is something people ask in every interviews in for AI roles, right? It doesn't matter you are an engineer, you're a product manager, whatever it is. People ask you what all steps are there in RAG, how do you optimize RAG pipeline. Then there are a lot of questions, right? So again, this is not a RAG class. Here we are just seeing how to build a RAG chatbot and take it to deployment. But just if you understand, do hands-on, you'll get to know more, right? And how it helped me that because I've done a lot of hands-on, so it's easy for me to remember things. I don't muck up things, right? So the more you do, more you will remember. There are a lot of advanced chatbots which you can build, but this is just a start for you guys. I'll bring more complex workshops as well. Okay, is it clear? Any doubt, anyone?
No, sir.
No, good to
Okay,
go.
good to go, right? So if I see this, what is happening right now is that, can someone tell me, I am asking the question, okay, and it is getting me the information from this particular web page. So can you think what must be happening at the backend? Can you guys think and put in chat box that what must be happening whenever, how is it able to answer from this web page? Can you guys think a little bit?
Yes, semantic search is happening behind it.
Okay.
So as per the query from the user, accordingly, it based upon the chunking, the chunk will go and search on the
So
embedding.
forget about the
Based,
chunk. Forget about the chunk right now. Okay.
okay.
What must be happening right now? So let me tell you what is happening. First of all, uh, it has learned the document is query. It is not querying a database. So what it is doing, it is extracting the data from the web page. Okay. So there are a lot. Just give me a second. Yes, it has learned from the document. So in this example, I'm not creating a database in the backend. So what I'm doing because earlier I did a project of RAG who attended on a document where we take a document, make the LLM understand it, and today we are doing a web scraping. So instead of passing a PDF, it is doing web scraping from that particular web page, storing that data, chunking that part is separate. But the first part is the web scraping. That give it any HTML page or any page, it will basically download the content from that and try to understand it. So the first part of this project today workshop today is understanding web scraping. Okay, how many of you have heard of web scraping? That what is web scraping and how it is done? Have you guys ever done web scraping? Yeah, let me tell you. So guys, tell me, has anyone done web scraping ever? Yeah, web scraping means extracting data from the websites. Because remember, not everything is present in documents. Web scraping is, again, this is not a web scraping class as well, but I will teach you the basics of web scraping that you should know and how you can deep dive into further. Because web scraping is itself a very, very vast domain. It itself deserves a course of 20-25 hours. But I will explain you the basics of it, that how web scraping is done. But just to make you understand, web scraping is downloading the data from the internet, okay, from any web page. So let's start. I have a PPT for you guys for this web scraping part, and for RAG, I will create a diagram. I have separate diagram. So let's understand the web scraping. Okay, just give me a second. Let me join through my other ID as well. Okay, yeah. So I just downloaded. Yeah. So we can start now. Yeah. So first, let's understand what is web scraping, right? So web scraping, as I mentioned, is the process of automatically extracting data from websites. So what you do instead of manually copying information, so like instead of going to the websites, selecting everything, copy paste in a document, right? That is a very tedious process. So what you want to do, you want to run code which will automatically extract the content from the website. So this is the meaning of web scraping. So now there are a lot of methods to web scrape. I'll just tell you what all major steps are there, and we will pick one method and which we'll be using in this workshop. Okay. So now what happens that whenever you scrape data right from a website, you are essentially sending an HTTP request. Basically, HTTP request is how servers interact, how websites interact, right? So whenever what you do, you send an API request. So what is an API? I will tell you, but think like APIs, it's how two softwares interact, how two systems interact, right? Like humans talk, how do humans communicate? Can you tell me? Humans communicate through speaking, humans communicate through writing, or what else through humans communicate?
Sign language.
Sign language. Yeah, so basically we have our own languages, right, in which we communicate. Yes, everything will be sent to you, don't
Yes,
worry.
sir.
Focus on the workshop, everything will be sent to you, don't worry. So so this is how humans interact. But how machines interact? Machines interact in a form called as API, application programming again, we'll understand API in more detail tomorrow, but just think like this: machines, web pages, everything, how they send communication to each other, they send through APIs. Okay. So there are multiple methods basically of web scraping. One is get. So what does get do? It fetches data from a web page or API. Okay. And it retrieves HTML content. I will show you how it works. Image files, JSON data, whatever type of data is present. So what is web get used to? Get is used to fetch the data. And this is what we'll be using today. All other things are used to do other things basically. So get is the functionality which is used to fetch the data from any web page. Okay. Now comes the second part, that is post. So post is basically, it is used to send the data to a server to create or some data. So basically, suppose you want to update a website, or let's say if you see submitting login forms, search query, whatever you need to do, just like you do in Google. What do you go to Google, you in the search bar, you type something, right? That is called a post query, because you're sending you're sending a text and then you are expecting a result. So that is called a post. What is get? That whenever you copy I send you link and you copy that link and open it, that is called get. Is it clear? Anyone, any doubt?
Post, we can tell it as in a simple term called append.
Append is something. Append is called basically put.
Oh, okay.
So post
So
is just like when you are sending a text or something to server or anywhere, and you're fetching something. Okay.
okay.
So as I
Or
mentioned, just
Sir,
yeah.
in simple, one
sir,
plus
like
one
we can
two, something like that, right?
So think. Let me tell you what is post. Simple
Okay.
words. Okay. This is Google, right? Right now. There are a lot of information present in Google. How many? Lot of websites are present. Lot of things are present, right? How do I get something? Let's say I say that NLP class vacation. What I've done now, I've entered a text, right? I entered this text and I entered it. So this is called a post. When you enter a text and you basically pass a text, right? That is called post. And what is get? Let's say you have this link. You copy that link and you open somewhere. So you have not passed any text. You have simply basically you have given I would say link, and you're fetching the data through a get method. Is it clear?
Clear.
Anyone any doubt?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, like you can say like post is like we are asking the question, like we are
Yeah,
posting.
post is like we are asking the question. So whenever you write anything in ChatGPT, that is also post request. Okay. Whenever you in Amazon, you go to Amazon and you type down, okay. For example, you go to Amazon, okay, and you simply say that, okay, I need to buy a phone, right? The moment I press enter, this is called a post request. Okay. Is it clear? And when you type amazon.com, this is called a get request. No, search is not. That's what I'm telling you. When you basically put a data on the website, or you basically filter based on something, that is called post, right? So again, we will study APIs in detail tomorrow. Don't worry, don't confuse yourself with API right now. This is not an API class, but just understand APIs is to send the data to the server to create or fetch filter data. That is what post is. Okay. Now let's move to next one. So I think I copied it again. Yeah. So another is put. So put is basically to update some information on internet. That is for put. This is not post. This is partial actually. So it is used to update some partial data. It is used to some delete head. Again, we'll study these in detail tomorrow little bit. But right now, just focus on get. So get is the something that we need because we need to make an API call and we need to download it from there. Is it clear?
Yes.
Anyone, any doubt? Tell me, please. Okay. So now we are going to study about get method, because get is something which is used for web scraping, right? All methods, all other methods are not for web scraping. They are used to update something, get filter, something like that, right? So let's study about get method. So get is an HTTP method used to fetch or retrieve data from a server. Okay. So when you open a web page in a browser, a get request, as I showed you, right? Whenever you open a browser, any web page that you open, again, remember, typing something and entering and typing a web URL are two different activities. Someone was saying na, that typing something is also get. No, it is not get. It is actually post. I'll tell you how. But think like this: whenever you have a link and you are sending a request to that link, that is called a get method. Okay, this is the main part of get, that no data is sent in the body. All the parameters are sent through URL itself. Okay, and it is mostly used to fetch the data from internet. This is the all the theory part. Now we will do the practical part. Okay, is it clear, guys? So now what you do basically, how we use get in Python, how do you use get? Basically, there's a library called request. Okay, in request, so it is an HTTP library. It is used to making get and other HTTP like post, whatever you want to do. But right now we'll make use of get. So let me show you how it works. A very simple example. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let me close this. So I'll build a new project. So you guys also start building a new project. Okay. We will build up from scratch. So let's open your VS Code. Okay. Go to terminal. So what we have to do, you have to write down the first command. Go to anywhere in your computer. Let's say I'm going to desktop. Create a folder, mkdir, name it, for example, uh, rag_web. So this will create a folder called rag_web. Now you'll click open, go to desktop, and open this folder, ragweb. So you will have this folder open in your system. Please everyone try this. I hope you guys know the commands, right? Does anyone who do not know these terminal commands? Guys, please interact. Otherwise, there will be no point. How many of you don't know about this terminal commands?
Actually, I created manually a folder, sir, initially.
You can create manually as well. You can do it through terminal as well. Again, you can do manually. Let me just tell you, basically there are few commands. Again, terminal, all that I have explained separately, but how to do, basically, whenever you have to move somewhere, you use cd, and let's say you call desktop, and mkdir basically is used to create a folder. So let's say I create a folder and then you go inside it. Otherwise, you simply, so let me write down the steps in the comment section. So what do you do? The first step that you need to do is cd and select folder, right, wherever you want to go. Or okay, then you create mkdir, a new folder name. Okay, new folder name that you will do, and after that what you will do, basically cd into this new folder name. So okay, this is how you will get into this. So these are the commands required. If you are still uncomfortable, don't worry. Simply create a folder on your own and just open through it. Is everyone able to do this?
Yes, sir.
Anyone who is not able to? If someone is not able to do, let me know. Please don't watch session like a movie, right? So now what we have to do is I have to just create some test files, because I will be okay. Before that, do one thing. We have to create a virtual environment. How many of you tutorial once again? Okay, so guys, please see this once again. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me delete it. Ragweb, where is it? I'll put it in the. So please watch this. I'm doing all the steps, right? Please watch it once again and try to follow. So right now you will be, if you write down simply pwd, which means present working directory, it will show you where you are right now. Okay. Now you can create your project folder anywhere. You can create in your local system anywhere. So simply I want to create a desktop. I'll do cd and I'll do desktop. Okay. Now in the desktop, what you have to do, you have to create a new folder. So we'll say mkdir rag underscore new, something like, you name it anything, whatever name you want to give it, you give it. Now once you do this, a new folder will be created, rag new. So you will just simply enter it here. Okay, that's all you need to do. Now you need to create a virtual environment. How many of you guys know what is the objective of virtual environment? Yeah. So virtual environment is created to isolate your project so that they don't interact with others. Again, I have a detailed video for this on YouTube. I will share, but you can watch from there. But that the conceptually, but how to do that, I'm telling you here. So how to create a virtual, so technically think like this: we are isolating our project from everywhere, everything else. Think like this: I'm creating a new container and I'm creating my project in that only, so that I don't interfere from anywhere else. Okay. So how to do this? There are you have to write down first command python 3 mvenv and then give any name. For example, I will give a rag. Let's give it now. This name can be anything. Okay. So these commands need to be as such. So python 3 m means make, venv means virtual environment, and the name of the virtual environment. Okay. So you do enter. If you see, there will be a folder creator rag. Okay. After that, you have to activate your virtual environment. So what you will do, you will say, take this name rag. Okay. RAG. Sorry. Take source. For Mac, it is source. For Windows, it is scripts. That's how it is done. Rag.
Hello.
Yeah.
Satvik, so you are putting in a Mac Python 3. So we are using like normal Windows. Should I want to put Python or Python 3?
Do Python 3. Generally, it's Python 3 nowadays. That's why. I mean, depends what Python you have. If you have Python 3.11, do Python 3. Okay. So these are the commands you need to write down for Mac. This command, the second command will change. Let me just check and update you. What is that command? If someone knows the command for Windows, please type in chat box. Otherwise, I will search from Google and let you know.
No, if Python is working. Python 3 we should not put. For in MacBook, for Mac we need to specifically mention 3 or else it will not work.
Okay.
For Windows we need to put only Python. Now it's working for me.
Okay. So Python 3 was not working, you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
This is for Mac. Let me write down for Windows. Okay.
How can I'm not getting any error. How can I confirm whether it is working or not?
Just activate it. So what you will see once you activate it, right? You will see this here, the name like in brackets here. Once you see this name here, it means it is activated. If you write down deactivate, let's say, right? So this name will disappear from there. You'll be in the base. And once you do source rag /bin/activate. Okay. So now it will come. So once you see it, it means you are in the virtual environment. Is it clear? Can you guys type down the comment for Windows? Let me just check virtual environment. So they have mentioned how to activate.
We can put one simple Control-Shift-P.
Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, one shortcut is there. Control-Shift-P.
Okay.
There will come create interpreter. There, if you second in a drop down, it will come virtual environment. There you can create it.
Okay. Yeah, that is also right. That is also right. So
you can try this in Jupyter Notebook.
No, Jupyter, it won't work. Sorry, let me check the command properly. Yeah, can someone write down the steps of Windows, that the 2 lines of Windows? So first line will remain same, right? For Windows, the first line will remain same. Python. Okay, perfect. So let me do one thing. Let me put this in the GitHub as well, so that you guys can watch it later, right? Because and read me. So activating virtual environment. Okay. So for Mac, what are the steps? The step 1 is Python 3 mvenv name. Okay. And step 2 is source name /bin/activate. Right. Activate. And for Windows, it is one is Python mvenv. You call it name, and to act. Sorry, this is source, not source. It is to yeah. So what was the command? Let me just check. So this is how you will do. I made changes to the readmd file as well.
Okay. It's dot rag, right? Dot slash rag. Okay.
Where?
Okay. Before the name slash, you should come dot.
Yeah, Ramakant, we can I think everyone can hear. Yeah, it's dot. Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is
Thanks.
it. Okay. So this is I will written down the steps so that you guys can. What is happening? This is not good. Okay, right. So this is the steps. Yeah, Ramakant, I think everyone can hear. Please check rejoin. Okay, so now that we have created virtual environment, let's go to our main part where we have to basically and where we have to install the library. Just give me a second. Okay, so we are here, right? Now what you have to do, so we have virtual environment activated. Now you have to create a file called requirements.txt. Okay, here we will write down all the packages which we will need to install. So presently just write down few requests. We will keep on adding later on. Okay, so how to do next is simply do pip install r requirements.txt, or you can do pip install request as well. It's up to you. Okay, so do this part.
So it should be created in the folder called rag, right?
No, not in the folder rag. You have to create it outside the folder rag. So rag is just a folder there. Create it outside. Don't create it inside.
Create file, new file.
Create a new file. Right. Give it a name requirements.txt. Exact name should be given. Then create a new file. Let's call it test.py. We'll be testing few codes in this. So .py means Python file. Okay. So now what we are going to do, we are going to study, basically see how request library works, right? How can you fetch information from anywhere? So what I've done is, let's see if I have any information. Do I have any? Yeah, let's pick this part, this website. Okay. So first of all, you will do import requests, right? So you need to import this library in your code.
So we need to create a py file test.
Yeah, you need to create a .py. Otherwise, how will you code? You need to create a py. Okay. Now the next step is, once you do this, the next step becomes basically you need to write down a variable URL equal to you will say, let's say this is the URL I'm using. Okay, I'll put it in chat box, but so let me put it in chat box like this. Use this URL. Okay. The commands are present in the GitHub repo. You can watch from there. Please focus on what I'm teaching right now. Don't go in if you have lost something. Everything will be given to you guys. Don't worry. This is the GitHub repo from where you can track. Okay. From everything. So, but please focus on the class. Don't. Okay, let's go here now. So what we are going to do, this is my URL, any website name. So let's see this website first of all. This is my website. And if I open it, for example, let me open it here. This is a website, 𝗘𝗵𝗁𝗏.com. It has some HTML content. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to extract the content from this particular web page. So what I'll be doing, simple thing is I'll say response. You can name it anything. Okay. Is equal to requests. So what method do we need to use to get the information from HTML page? Get, right? So what you will do, you will simply write down dot get and you'll pass this URL variable. Okay, that's it. Now you are done. So simply what you can do, so this is, now if you do print response right now, let's see what comes. It will just give you a condition saying that so 200 means connection was successful. Okay. So what we have to fetch the data as well. So to fetch the data, what we need to do, there's a response dot content. So we will store this in a variable because we'll be needing that. So I'm going to do a response. So this was response, right? I'll say HTML underscore content is equal to your response dot content. Okay. Now if you print HTML content, right? Now you will see that you have actually scraped the data from here. If you see something like this will be here. Can you guys see? Run this command and check. Response.txt will also work. Text, not txt. I think text also works. Content also works. So yeah, please do it. I'm giving you guys 2 minutes. Please finish it.
Satvik, I'm getting an error. Can I share my screen?
What error are you getting?
Something like HTML content cannot be defined, something like that.
Are you following the same steps which I have done?
Yeah. Can I one minute? Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
In requirement.txt, there is only one line written that is called request right now.
Hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
What mistake I was doing here?
Import requests. Type HTML content is not defined. You didn't install. Can you close this? Can you do pip install? Have you installed the library?
Yes.
Can you do pip install requests?
QUES. Correct, right?
Yeah, enter.
Why it's like this? Should I connect VPN or what?
I don't know. Is there something wrong with your internet? Now it's downloading.
Yeah. After connecting VPN, it is running. Okay, then.
Now run it. Now it will run.
Height. Now should I want to put
run the code? Simply run the code Python. Run the file. Simply run the code.
Invalid syntax.
HTML content is equal to You have not activated virtual environment as well. That's why I've told you multiple times.
It was activated. See,
It's
Control
not.
Shift P.
It's not
Select.
active. I do not see. Otherwise, it would have been coming. Please close it and.
See here. I will show you.
It's not there.
So
No, I do not see it. That's what I'm saying.
the
Now
rag is coming.
now run it.
Okay. Now I'm keeping it here.
Have you installed request inside this folder? You need to test it out. I'm not sure if you have installed inside the rag.
New folder. It is okay. How to come rag here?
You need to activate your virtual environment.
Okay.
Now do pip install requests.
Correct, right?
Yes, requests.
Okay. Okay. Oh shit.
Is other people also getting the same issue or what? Or you're able to get it?
No, sir.
Print HTML content is equal to response.
What went wrong here?
I need to check. I mean, I don't know, something wrong because this method is working. Something wrong with your methods or what? I don't know. But
Now, can you try to install the libraries now, like pip install request?
it's there. He has already installed it.
Yeah, requirement already satisfied.
URL is equal to this, response equal to this. HTML can you do one thing? Print response. Can you just write on print response? I want to check that.
You name your requirement document as requirement. It should be requirements.
No, that has to do nothing.
And inside that, shouldn't request be inside that defined?
Sorry,
No,
come again.
it can be, but he has already installed, so does not matter. Do one thing, remove the last 2 lines, just do print response.
I want to remove these 2 lines.
Yes. Print response. Yes. Now run the code.
Something related to.
Why are you getting invalid keyboard invalid syntax? I'm not getting what is wrong. Just copy the code I have just sent. Please, can you exactly copy what I just sent in chat? Otherwise, we'll have to look at it later because this is not a code error. This is something with your system which we need to.
Should I want to copy everything? Okay.
Just copy everything, run once. If it does not work, I mean, just follow the session.
Yeah.
Later because we have to cover the things as well. Just activate your virtual environment. Yeah. Now run the code. Something wrong with your system. You need to check it later on. Okay.
Okay then. Yeah.
Let's move forward. Okay. So this is the way we basically got our HTML content, right? Now, can you tell me what is the problem with the content that I'm getting?
We are getting it with the tags.
This content, basically, whenever you web scrape any HTML page, it does not give you the. So eventually, what do we want from the website? We want this particular thing, right? Where is the page? We want the content, right? We don't want the tag. So what it gives you the HTML code rather than so whatever you see is the HTML code. It is not the text. I only want text. I don't want the I don't want just random basically HTML code. So what happens that whenever you run this command, right, request.get, it will give you only the HTML content code, basically HTML code of that web page, and I don't need that because there's a lot of information that's not required to me. So we need to clean this data. There comes the data cleaning part, or when you do web scraping, the data cleaning part, which we will do. Now for data cleaning part, there is another method, a library which is used. You might have heard about it. It is called Beautiful Soup, right? And there is Selenium, there are a lot of things. We will study about the Beautiful Soup today. So technically, for the web scraping, the whole pipeline is that, okay, before I move ahead, let's look at a couple of things. Whenever you run this response, right, whenever you make a request call, you will see a lot of, you can see the status code. You will see 200, 404, a lot of this. I will explain you what these are. .text will give you the raw content of this page, content which we actually did, right? And other things you can try on your own. But we will simply use content or text. These things we'll use in the class. Remaining you can explore on your own. Okay. So the status codes, if you see, there are a lot of status codes. 200 means your connection was successful, and 404 means the URL is not found. 403 means access denied, right? If it's, because remember, you cannot web scrape every URL. Why? Can you tell me the reason? Why does request.get does not work on everything? Security, right? You cannot go to government website and go to a bank website, someone's, and just web scrape it. Otherwise, everyone will be doing that, right? So web scraping only happens to the publicly available websites. Okay. For other secured website, you need to have the, for example, if you're working inside a company, you need to have the settings parameters, privacy parameters, certificates, which you need to apply in the code. Then only you can extract it. Otherwise, you cannot directly put it. Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
Satvik sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one question. Why virtual environment is required for any project? What is the benefit of doing virtual environment?
See, I have explained virtual environment in very much detail in a video. It's present on the YouTube channel. Still, let me tell you in the basics. What happens that your computer has a lot of projects. Suppose you are working with Python 3.11 in one project and Python 3.0 in some other project. Okay. You don't want those versions to basically mix with each other. That's why you create virtual environment. So virtual environment basically means you're creating a clean copy, isolated copy of your project, so that other things on your system do not affect it.
Okay. Sir, every project have their own. We can create every
Yes.
project.
Yes. So every project that you do, you should create a new virtual environment. That is the very important thing. Like so that your project is not affected by anything else in the system.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
But if you want to understand in more detail, I have a like 40-minute video on this, that why it is required on YouTube. I will share on the WhatsApp group. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I'm not going in detail because we have a lot of things to cover, right? So now, as we mentioned, the problem with the web scraping is that when we scrape a website, we only get raw HTML content, which is a mix of HTML tags, right? CSS style, JavaScript code, hidden element, a lot of things, right? And we do not want to use this. So to do this, we need a parser tool, as I mentioned, that is called. So hence we need a tool to parse and extract only the real text that we need, that is relevant to us or we are interested in. Okay. For this comes Beautiful Soup. Okay. There are other libraries as well, but we will be using Beautiful Soup. So what we do that, let's read about it. What Beautiful Soup does. It is a Python library used to parse, navigate, search, and modify HTML or XML document easily. Okay. So what it does that whatever text HTML, let's say we have HTML code, right? You can filter things from it. I will show you how it is done. But think like this, it converts your complex HTML code into readable text structure or tree structure. So it is a tool that helps you break down an HTML page and pick only the useful. So just think like this. Don't go in the technical part. Just think like this. Beautiful Soup is a tool that helps you break down an HTML page and pick only the useful parts that you want. Is it clear? So Beautiful Soup is not done, does not do web scraping. Web scraping is done by requests, but Beautiful Soup is used to clean the data that you have got from from your web scraping. Is it clear? So whatever data code we have got, we will try to clean it and get the relevant text. So this is the whole basic flow of web scraping of any project which you will do here or anywhere. First of all, you will send a GET request to the web page that you are doing. Second, you will parse your HTML using Beautiful Soup or whatever. Then you will extract your data. I will show you how it is done. And then this is called the unnecessary tags. So cleaning your data. So this is the whole pipeline of your web scraping, the overall pipeline of any web scraping project. Okay, so let's see how it is done. Any doubt in the concept?
Sir, parsing in the sense like getting the data.
Parsing in the sense that,
Or,
yeah, parsing, what is the meaning of parsing? That you have a, this is the text that we extracted, right? Now, I don't want this title variable. I just want, let's say, quotes to scrap or the main content, right? That is called parsing.
fine, sir.
Filtering, you can think of filtering, basically filtering only the relevant content from what we have got.
Fine, sir.
Is it clear? Anyone, any doubt conceptually? Practically I will show you how it is done, but practically I will share you code as well, but conceptually pehle samajh jao why Beautiful Soup is required. Beautiful Soup is not, remember, a lot of people have this doubt. Beautiful Soup is not a is not a web scraping tool. It is a parsing tool. Whatever content you get from your web scraping, it is used to parse that or filter that document. Clear? So there are a lot of methods which you will be using. Like, let's say once you get the, so what happens that once you get the HTML code, whatever you get is an HTML code, right? Now we don't need to understand HTML code right now. It's totally fine. But these are different methods. Again, we are not going to do them right now, but you can look at that. For example, let us say you parse something and something like this comes. So if you guys don't know, this means heading in HTML. H1 means heading starts, /H1 means heading close in HTML. Okay, and so this book title will become a heading in somewhere. Now suppose you only want plain text, you only want this, you don't want this, you don't want H1, right? So there's a method soup.find_h1.text.script. So is the output of this query will be book title. So these two tags will be removed if you see. Okay. Similarly, suppose you want to extract only the 19.99 from there. So you'll run this method and you will get exactly this. Okay. So these all, in, if you see in the rows, are the outputs of your HTML page. And once you run this code, you will get this output. Again, you don't need to remember all this code. You can do ChatGPT, or once you basically, once you get experienced, right, you will remember this. So it's fine if you don't remember right now. Just understand the concept that why Beautiful Soup is used. There are a lot of methods in this project. We will use one method, right, and remaining you can explore. It's up to you, but you don't need to remember. No one in interview is going to ask you that tell me the method to extract this. Okay, but it will be required at your work when you are working. So at work you can simply do Google. Okay, I have this kind of text, how can I parse using Beautiful Soup? So you will get text from Google or ChatGPT, and then you can basically use it. Clear? Okay, so we are not studying HTML and all that here, just to because think like this, there are a lot of things in world, right? We cannot learn everything, but we should know how to deal with them. I don't know HTML, to be honest, right? I just know basics of HTML, that okay, H1 means heading. But I know if I know that Beautiful Soup can be used to filter my content, simply what I will do, I'll go to ChatGPT or Google, I'll give it that, okay, I want to filter out something like this, give me a code, take that code, integrate it and run it. That's it. No one, remember, you don't need to remember these codes. Okay, so let's move ahead. So as I mentioned, there are few important concepts that you should know. I mean, just like soup dot, let's say you have a HTML page. If you use soup.find, it will help you first occurrence of a tag. For example, if you do soup.find h1, so it will show you where does the first h1 lies, and it will give you the content from that, and find all, and similarly, like a lot of things are there. Let's not go into there, that you can review, but let's see the example that we have today. Okay, so we have this particular website, right? We are basically extracting this particular website. Okay, now what will happen that remember, we have to only extract the useful human readable content. Like I want this text, I don't want HTML tags, right? So what is the first step? I have to make a request.get method, okay, to this particular web page. So let's start doing this, okay, because we'll be using this particular code. So let's do one thing. We will basically make the, yeah, so let's do one thing. Okay, first of all, let's understand the concept, then we will commit. Okay, so what will happen? First of all, you do request.get. What will this request.get give you? It will give you an HTML content, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right, so you'll get something like this. This is not the full code. You'll get something like this, where you will have HTML head, style, blah blah blah. The main content, if you see, it is this hello world only. Rest all are unwanted tags, right? So now, if you know, there are what happens that, okay, so yeah, now there are a few things. For example, I want only the content from this. Now if you see, content is present here. This is a script and style format. So basically, sorry, this particular style and script, if you see these tags, right, these things are not required to me. So what I need to do, I need to filter them out. So if I don't remove script and style, our output will contain CSS and Java code like this. I don't want this. Think like this. Let's say I remove tags. I remove HTML, I remove head, I remove body HTML. I'll be left with style, script, and this hello world. Something like this I'll be left with, right? I don't want this as well. Okay. I only want hello world. I don't want all this. Okay. So what we will do, we will remove basically some text that is script, which are based on style and tags, right? And so that is done by using a method called get text. Okay, and then we will use a separator, and we will extract. So let's do one thing. Let's get to the code, and let me show you how it is done. Then we will come back here. Okay, so let's start with a file. Let's call it web. Okay, forget it. Let's name it so I need to do import requests, right? And then I need to remember, I also need beautiful soup. So for beautiful soup, you need to say bs4, okay, or I will say pip install bs4. So bs4 means beautiful soup. So at the top, I will need to write down from bs4 import beautiful soup. Okay, these two things I have got it. So my first step, step 1 is fetch the web page, right? Okay, so let's fetch the web page. So how will we do that? Let's say I have URL which is equal to So let's go to, so with which page are we chatting? We are chatting with this page, right? I'll copy this link. I'll go here. I'll say URL equal to this. Okay. Now what I need to do, so I'll say response equal to requests dot get URL. Okay. First, watch me code. I will share you the GitHub link as well. Don't worry. So you will have the codes. Just watch, understand first of all what I'm doing. Okay. So you have this part, response equal to request dot URL. Then what will I do next?
Get the content.
Get the content. So I'll the HTML underscore content will be equal to response dot content. Okay. So this is it. Now let's do one thing. Let's check it out. Print HTML content. Let's see what it shows. So see, I have got some lot of HTML tags and all that. Okay. So now my step 2 comes. Step 2, parse HTML. Okay. So we have to get the HTML basically from this. So what will I do? See the method. I'll write down soup. You can name it anything. Soup, I'm just writing down like that. You'll call beautiful soup. Okay. There you need to provide the variable HTML content because this is the content that contains, right? And after that, you need to pass a method that how do you want to pass it. So there is a method called HTML.parser, which it provides. Okay. Now, once you do this, okay, so this is done. Now what will I do? I'll simply print soup. Okay, let's see what it shows. So what I've done in this code, I've taken the HTML content, I've parsed is basically using HTML parser through beautiful soup. Okay, now let's see what it shows. So it will show you something like this. Let me show you. Yeah. So now what I need to do, I need to get rid of this. There are a lot of tags and all that which I need to get rid of. So first of all, if you remember from this text I showed in the PPT, what do I need to remove? I need to remove this styling and scripting, right? Yes or no? So think like this, HTML head, when you do HTML parsing, it will automatically remove HTML and all those things. Okay, now it will be left with you need to basically, let's go here. This is the content, right? Talk time HTML. Yeah. So if you see, again, this is little bit of JavaScripting code, but you don't need to understand the Java and all that. But I'm just telling you, you need to remove those tags which are of type basically classes and styling and scripting. So let me show you how it is done. Again, this all is data cleaning part. You can review it. So how it is done, I will simply do for script in soup. Okay, so what it will do, that it will go inside the HTML content what I have parsed. It will check for the tag script and what was the other name, style. Okay, so wherever it finds these two things, it will remove them. Okay, and then it will do script dot extract. Okay, now if you print soup, you will see a better page now. So let me show you. So let's remove this. Okay. Okay. So now let's see what comes. So now what has happened that from my HTML, so what I did, first of all, I extracted the raw HTML. From that, I passed the HTML part. Then I'm removing the tags which are with script end, because script and styling are the basically Java files, CSS files, right? I need to remove those tags. I don't need them. Now when you will run this code, you'll get something like this. A better, little bit clean structure you will get, right? If you see, it's still not perfect, but I will see it is little bit better than what it was earlier. Yes or no? Like I can see the content little bit better. Few tags are still there. I need to get rid of them. So what you see, you will see tags and some content, tags and some content. That's what you will see. Okay. So what you need to do now is we need to get rid of, extract the main text out of this, and that is done using there's another method called text. So extract visible text. So what it does, after removing the unnecessary tags, now we want to extract all the remaining visible content, and get text is used basically for that. It has two parameters. I will show you what does each mean. So technically, whatever content we have right now, we can clean it simply by passing get text method. Okay. Now get text method is basically, so let's see what it will do. Let's see an example. Let's say this is my content, right? Something like this I was seeing in the code, right? If you see, something like this was coming, div, right? Div, and if you compare this with the PPT, think like this. So div class equal to page, class equal to, like these things are there, right? Now what I need to do, I need to apply dot get text. Whenever you'll apply get text, what will happen? This particular page will be converted to a text like this. Okay. So let's do that. So let me run that part. Again, I'm teaching you the cleaning part that is done, but so we'll say text is equal to soup dot get underscore text. Okay. And then I will print text. So let me clear it. Now when I run it, I should see little bit more clean data. If you see, now I'm seeing entirely all the tags have been gone now. Do you see that? Yes or no? Is it clear or it's confusing? Just understand the concepts. You don't need to remember all these codes. It's fine. Is it clear that what it will do with the get text? We are able to remove all the tags. We got all the basically main content. Now thing is that now we need to do little bit more cleaning. So if you see what is happening, there's a lot of spaces. So what happens, right, when you use get text directly is that when you use get text directly, remember this was the page, right? Original. It will come in the exact order it was present in the code. So what will happen that in the code, all this will be removed, but let's say there is a new line. It will not come as the next line. So think like this, all this disappeared, but the order remained same, like 5 lines. I want to basically merge them in a single line. So what do? We use a concept of separator equal to, we pass a variable, basically hyperparameter separator equal to this. So what does this do? It adds a space between text from different lines or tags, right? So this line, which is present next to each other, it will convert it into this. It will bring them together just with a space. Okay. So let me show you what does it do. That you will simply say separator so it is separator equal to, let's give it something like this. Okay, now let's see what comes. Let's see what now what should happen. All this space should be gone. I should see text next to each other rather than big gaps. Okay, so let's run this. has happened? Let me clear it first of all. If you see, now text is more closer. Not all gaps will go, because I'll tell you the reason. Not all gap, because these gaps are something else. So we will need to use regex and all that to complete them. So let me just tell you the final step, what has to be done, so that we move to the RAG part now. So you will use this separator equal to this, and then strip equal to true. So this will remove any unwanted spaces that is present. So you will use separator equal to basically separator equal to this, and then you will use strip equal to true. Okay, now let's do this. See, now I've got the exact text content here. Is it clear? So what have I done? I have extracted the whole. So first of all, I took the from here. What did I do? मैंने सबसे पहले fetch किया, parse किया, parse के बाद से मैंने कुछ tags को clean किया, then मैंने कुछ separator वगैरह हटाए, right, so that make it look it more clean, and this is the final good text that I have right now. Is it clear, everyone? Now we'll move to the RAG part. Just wanted to ensure if everyone is good with it. Yeah, okay, I'm speaking in English only. I just spoke one line in Hindi. Yeah. So is it clear to everyone? Anyone, any doubt, let me know, please. Now I'll move to the RAG part. You guys can try on your systems. So what you these codes you can try, please try on your system. One by one, you can try to see what happens after each step. This is a data cleaning part, which is required when you will do any work, but just understand the concept and run it. Okay, after this, we'll do the RAG part and we will deploy the project. How to extend web page with multiple pages. So Neetu, there are like more advanced methods. I can send you those code. I cannot like explain right now. There are some parameters which you need to add basically. So I will show you that separately. I'll send you a code for that. It's the process remains same. You just need to add few hyper parameters. What if we can ignore the for loop? Wait a second. Let's go one by one. In the requirement.txt, this is request and bs4. You need to have these, and this is the code which I have right now. Okay. You cannot ignore the for loop. Reason is this soup which variable is created, right? This is a list type. So whatever content you are extracting from this, let me show you this. So let's see this. If you do print type of soup, okay, this is a list, and if you need to remove everything, you need to run a for loop in a list, if you remember. Okay, so this comes in a list format. That's what you need to do. That is why for looping is required if you need to remove every part. Requirement.txt. If you don't see requirement.txt, randomly you can install pip install from your code here. Requirement.txt is not required there. But when you will tomorrow, when we will put this code into production, right, on GitHub Actions and all that, their requirement.txt will be required. So just for your experimental project basis, this RAG is the virtual environment. You don't need to touch it. This is just the virtual environment. Okay. You can give it any other name. I have just given RAG. You can give it any name. So requirement.txt is not man. Yeah, let me paste the code here. So I pasted the code. You can check. Okay, I've explained you how it is done. So okay, So as I mentioned, requirement.txt is not mandatory, but it is required when you put your code into production. Yes. So what does pip install do? It goes to the requirement text package, file checks which all library is there and install them. So when you do pip install, you're manually passing the variable name, right? Request. And when you do R requirements, so what it does, it goes and because what if you have to install 50 packages? You cannot write down pip install every time, right? So you simply put everything in a requirement.txt file and run one command so that all your packages are installed at once, instead of manually doing everything once again. Is everyone good? Shall I move ahead?
So Satvik, one doubt I have. So hello.
Yeah, please.
When I was running this code, the problem here is like SSL verification. So can I put it as false and run it? Is that fine?
Yeah, you can run it as false and run it. Are you running from a company laptop or what?
Yeah, it's company laptop.
Don't run from company laptop. Companies do not allow web scraping from here randomly. Run on your personal laptop.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting false.
Yeah, put it false because that's why
Okay.
earlier also you were not able to run.
Yes. I'm not sure about this all SSL verification. I was checking in a GitHub Copilot side by side. It was telling me to put it false.
Yeah,
Okay.
put it as basically SSL is that whenever you make a request to that company, certification says that you are authorized to do that, and when you put it false, it means that right. So don't do random web scraping from your company laptop because
okay. Now if I put false, I will not be in trouble, right?
You should not be unless there is some other firewall in your company, because that I don't know.
Because I turned on the VPN, that is then how this error is coming.
Yeah, that is mainly because you're doing from your company laptop. Try the same code on your personal, it will work.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I told you when you work for company, you need to add a couple of more parameters, security and all that, right? Then only you can run it. So
got it. Yeah.
Okay. So is everyone good with this? Shall I move to the next RAG concept?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So what I will do, this is just a test.py. Now write down, create a folder web scrape.py. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I have created a proper function on this GitHub page. If you go web scrape.py, okay, just copy the code. It is the same code that we have created, just that I have written in form of a function. Okay. So that because in we need to call the function, right? So simply copy it from there. I pasted the link in the chat. You can check. So it's the exact same thing what we are doing. Simply, but just that we have created a function def. So now this function now scrape and clean will be used, right? And so whenever so this function takes a URL. So whenever you pass a URL to this function, it will give you the clean data. So that's how we have created it now. Okay. We will need to use this function in our code. Okay. Is everyone good with it? Okay, let's study the RAG. First of all, let's spend few minutes in understanding what is RAG, and then let's come code it and finish the project. Okay. So how many of you know what is RAG? Architecture of RAG. Can someone tell me? Why do we need a RAG? What is RAG?
It's mainly used to fetch some external PDF or document, something like that, for a exact search, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, you're saying right.
Yeah, and technically called as semantic search.
Yeah. So first of all, let's understand how an AI chatbot works, right? What happens that, let's say you use any ChatGPT or any other tool, for example. Let's say I open Grok, right? I go here, I chat with it. For example, I ask, what is AI? Let's say I put the text. It will be able to answer the question, right? Any chatbot LLM will be able to answer the question. But what if I ask the same question on my web page? Yeah, RAG is connecting external data source to the LLM. Exactly. Right. Now, for example, this was my web page. If I ask the ChatGPT how many products are in stock, let's say I ask this same question, will it be able to answer? Will it be able to answer? From that web page, tell me, will it be able to answer from this web
No,
page?
sir.
No, because it does not have the context about that. So what do we need to do? You need to provide a context always. And how do you give context? You write down a prompt that given the context, let's say, given the context, let's say you copy the context from here, let's say, okay, right now. Okay. Now ask how many books are available. Now will it be able to answer?
Yes, no.
Why? Because in the prompt you have given it a reference that please answer from this, right? That's what we have done. So now it will be able to answer according to the product information. There are 22 books available in the stock. So what is this? This is an external knowledge base, right? Which LLM does not have access to, but we want LLM to have that information. So whenever we create a chatbot, we want LLM to hit our personal knowledge base. So what happens? Let's say this is LLM, right? Now LLM can answer anything, anything across the world it can answer. Okay, but you want it to answer specific to your knowledge base. So let's say this is the LLM, okay, and let's say user asks a question, for example, from here. User question. Okay, user sends a question here, and so right now LLM does not have information about my personal data. So what can we do? We can provide it a knowledge base, that whenever you're sending a question, you can provide it a knowledge base. KB means knowledge base, and now LLM will be able to answer your question. This is the concept of basically RAG, how it works. But there are more things, but I will tell you. But this is how any LLM chatbot works. That normally LLM can answer anything, but you provide it with a knowledge base, and now it becomes your customized chatbot. That's how anything works. That's how these LLM applications work. Okay. Now point is that if you see here, the context that I provided here, right? If you have understood the prompts that you give to LLM, they have token limit. You cannot, like, if you increase the prompt size, what will happen? Guys, what will happen? Is it a difficult question to answer? If you give very big prompts to LLM, what will happen? No, it will not give error, but it will hallucinate, right? Think like this. Your company, remember the web page that I was showing you earlier? Companies can have thousands of web pages. Thousands of web pages means millions of tokens, millions of words. So can you pass everything? Think like you only. Let's say I teach you something back to back for 10 hours. Okay, I load you with a lot of things, right? In back to back 10 hours. And I ask you a question after that. Will you be able to answer every question?
No, sir.
No, right? So that's also how LLM works. You cannot feed LLM with thinking that, okay, I'll pass all the context in the prompt. I will basically, and then it will give me the result. So there's a better way to do that. And there comes the concept of semantic search, RAG, right? So what it does, now think like this, an example that whenever a user question comes, so let us say this is my, for example, text, my knowledge base. Let's say this is my knowledge base. Okay. Now what will happen? I cannot pass the whole knowledge base into LLM. Reason same, because it will get confused. But what I can do to LLM, remember the flow remains same. User question combined with some information passed to LLM and it will answer. So flow will remain same, but what needs to happen now, that based on the user question, okay, the context that is going to LLM should be dynamic. For example, let us say there are 1000 pages. There are 1000 pages. I ask a question which is present on the first page. So the context of first page should go to LLM. If I ask a question whose answer is present in 900th page, the context of 900th page should go to LLM. Agreed? Is it clear? Let me repeat it once again. So that what happens, that you don't want to pass the whole knowledge base, as I mentioned, but suppose your knowledge base has 100 chapters. Okay, let's say this has 100 chapters. Okay, now you can ask, this has, let's say, 100 chapters, and every suppose you ask a question which belongs to, whose answer lies in 900th page. So what should it return? It should return the 900th page as knowledge base, because all other pages are useless. Do we need other pages? Tell me. In this website, I am asking about stock price. How many things are available in stock? Do I need this info? Do I need to pass LLM this information? Tell me. No, I only need to pass the relevant information to my question. Focus on the keyword, relevant information to the question. Okay. So the main thing is, how do we extract the relevant content from the document based on the user question? That is the main process. That is the main thing we need to understand. Okay. So for this, we will study the concept how RAG pipeline works, and then we will look at it. So what happens that whenever you have this, let's say a big knowledge base you have, for example, knowledge base. So what you will do, you will basically, remember it has 100 chapters, or let's say right now it has 5 chapters. Okay. Let's say it has 5 chapters. These chapters, we also can call them as chunks. You would have heard this. You can call it anything, but we can also call them as 5 chunks. So let's do one thing. Let's say it is made up of 5. So let's say this is chunk 1, or you can call chapter 1, anything you can call. So this is your chapter 1. Now this is your chapter 2. So what will you do? You will break the chapters into different chapters, right? So this is like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5. Okay. This is the last chapter. So this is it, right? Now simply, so what I've done, I've taken my knowledge base, split into different chapters. Okay. Now whenever a user question comes, so what will happen? Now whenever a user question comes, accordingly, let's say the question belongs to chapter 3. My chapter 3 will come and it will go as context to LLM. And now LLM will be able to answer it. Is it clear? Now let us say a question comes which is from chunk 5. So instead of chunk 3, I will have chunk 5 will be passed to LLM instead of passing all.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, like you are saying like the informations are divided into different chunks.
Yes.
Like in case if you have a web page full of details, on
Yes.
what basis different chunks are divided, sir?
Yeah,
Like,
so now
what
there are
informations
different
present in one
there are
particular
different ways to chunk it. Okay. So one is based on character, one is based on the context. So there are a lot of methods to do that. So you can do blind chunking, you can do recursive chunking, you can do heading based chunking, that you only chunk based on some headings, you only chunk based on paragraphs. So a lot of methods are there for chunking.
Fine, sir.
Okay. So right now for this project, we will do for production level, it will be better to have I think index based chunking. So paragraph based chunking is always better to do at production level. But right now we will do at character level, but because that context is very less here right now. But you just need to change the library when you have to do recursive chunking, you need to do. But okay. So this is chunk 1, chunk 2, chunk 3, chunk 4, chunk 5, and accordingly you are pulling out the dynamically based on user. Let's say I ask a question about anything, so that will pull up. But question is, how am I able to get the relevant chunk out of it based on the question only? Okay. So there come the concept of vector embeddings and embeddings. So what is embeddings? Again, it's a detailed concept, but think like this. Embeddings are the numerical representation of your text which contain the semantic meaning. So what is the meaning? What does it mean? That actual meaning of that, think like this, actual meaning, summary, or whatever, everything is stored in form of words. Okay. I have a proper video as well on this as well, but that is separate. I'm not going into very depth on that. But think like this, that whatever text you have present, you'll convert it into numbers. Okay. And it will be semantic numbers, means those numbers will have some meanings. It will not be just based on keywords. Okay. So what you will do, you will convert all this into embeddings. Okay. So convert all your chunks into embeddings. And how this embedding is created? This is created through embedding models. There are a lot of embedding models. We will see them. But so what you do, take the knowledge base, chunk it, embed it. Okay. Now you need to store it somewhere. These embeddings need to be stored somewhere. And to store embeddings, there is a type of database which is called a vector database. Okay. This is the vector database. So vector database, it is not like a SQL database you would have seen. It is a so like I will show you. I regularly use Pinecone. This is one of the vector database, but you will see FAS is there, Pinecone is there, and there are like a lot of other things. So if you open this Pinecone, let me show you. This is a vector database, how it looks. So this is how it looks right now. Okay, but I will show you how to create and all that. Don't worry. So what is it contains embeddings. So let me show you what embeddings look like, right? So embeddings look something like this. These are the numbers from -1 to 1. These are the numbers numeric. So this is the text and these are its embeddings. Okay. And embeddings are basically numerical representation of your text, and dimensions basically are on how many variables you have basically created those embeddings. So they are called dimensions. On how many parameters you have created those embeddings. So they are called dimensions. Again, detailed video I will share with you, but this is how it is. So what you need to care about is dimensions, and we'll speak about cosine similarity. Okay. So first, tell me, is this part clear to you guys? Anyone, any
Yes,
doubt
sir.
in this concept? So what we have done, we have basically split. Yeah.
I have a small doubt, sir.
Yes.
Vector store is basically for embedding the information in the vector store and for the retrieval purpose. Sir. That knowledge base is what, sir? Knowledge base. Knowledge
Sorry?
base is a database, sir. Knowledge base is a
Knowledge
database
base
and
is just a
vector store.
document. It is just a document. It
Oh,
can
like,
be document
okay,
or
fine.
text, anything. Knowledge base means
Okay,
your
what
document.
we are supplying.
Yeah, your HTML page, whatever you want to use, that is your knowledge base.
Fine.
Right now, our knowledge base is this. Correct. So we will chunk it and we will embed it. Now what I need to do, that I need to user will pass. Yeah.
Satvik, hello?
Yes. Yes, please.
Yeah, the diagram is fine. Can you please put the respective flow arrow mark and can you place it in the chat box?
I cannot copy this diagram in the chat box.
No,
I
you
will,
can put you can snap it, right?
but that I will do after the class, right? I mean, I'll
Okay.
send
Yeah,
you,
yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah.
I'll send you the whole diagram. Don't worry. Okay. Is this diagram clear to everyone? So first knowledge base, then this, then this, then this. Okay. Now what is happening? That user question will come. Now what is our objective? I need to select the relevant chunk out of it. Okay. Now, can I compare text to text? How do machines read? Do they read text or do they read numbers?
Numbers.
So machines always take the text, convert to numbers, and then compare. Okay. So your text, whatever you're passing, it needs to be converted into numbers, right? So you need to, the question that you are sending, you need to convert that into question embedding. Okay. The question embedding will be created. Okay. What will happen now? Question embedding. And after, so question will come, question embedding will be there. Okay. Now what will happen? Tell me. Now this embedding will be compared against all these 5. Okay. Now this has to be compared and matched, that it matches with which one it is closest to. Remember, this is how semantic things work. Again, I'll so that you have this embeddings and you have these embeddings. They will have a score basically. So you will see which embedding are closer to each other, and accordingly you will fetch information. So these two will have a score, these two combination will have a score, this two combination will have a score, this will have a score, and this will have a score. Whichever combination will have higher score, that will be the bigger most relevant chunk. Okay. So this is called semantic matching. We use cosine similarity for that. Again, what is cosine similarity? As I mentioned, there's a proper video on that I will share. But cosine similarity is a way you basically take the vectors and you based on angles you basically create them, do the matching. Right now we are not interested in going into deep into that, but think like that. These numbers will be compared. Now let us say out of these you get to know that E3 is the most relevant chunk embedding. So what will happen? You will basically fetch E3 from this. Okay. So let me do one thing. Okay. So let's say you will compare this with this, and you will take this. Okay. It will come here, and let us say you decide that E3 is the most relevant chunk. Okay. Now to LLM, tell me, what do you pass? Do you pass embedding or do you pass chunk? Whenever you are asking LLM, giving a context, will you give LLM an embedding or will you give it a chunk?
Embeddings.
Why embeddings?
So as a user will ask a question, based upon that it will do the semantic search and it will find the respective embeddings only, no? So that the embedding will be the
find the respective embedding. I agree, but to
okay.
LLM it has to give a context. So what will go in the context? Will embedding go or will the chunk go?
I think so. Embedding. If I may wrong.
Based on the embedding, the chunk will be selected, no, sir?
Based on the embedding, chunk will think like that. Embedding is just a number.
Okay.
If you pass to LLM, let's say you say that this is, let's say I give to this, this is the relevant chunk embedding. You give some number 0.2, 0.3, right? How many books were sold? Tell me, will LLM be able to understand it?
No.
So think like this. There are two things. LLM can only think like this. Computer understands numbers. LLM understands text, because LLM are text-based models, right? So you need to think like that. Whenever you ask a question, you will convert to embedding because you are doing some computer mapping. Okay, so there you need the mapping comparison you will do based on numbers. But when you are giving to LLM, you need to provide a text. So based on E3, you will select the chunk which correspond to E3. Okay. Is it clear? Now this chunk, now what will happen? User question plus this chunk will go to, let's say, LLM. And now LLM will give you the answer. This is the flow of a RAG. This is the architecture of a RAG. Okay. So this user question plus chunk will go to LLM, right? And from there, your answer will be generated. This is the RAG architecture. This is we call retrieval augmented generation. Why? Let's understand why. What is happening? Based on the question, you are retrieving the most relevant embedding or a chunk. Okay, so that is retrieval, R. Augmented means this part, that in the user question, you're augmenting a knowledge base. Augmenting means addition. So retrieval you did here, augmentation you did here, and then you gave to LLM to generate an answer. So this is called RAG, retrieval augmented generation. Okay, this is the RAG pipeline. The basic RAG pipeline, not only basic, the any RAG pipeline looks like this. There are methods to optimize it, but that is not in for this session. Right now, just understand that this is how a RAG pipeline works. Is it clear? Please have a look at it. Then we will do the coding part. I just need like 15 minutes to code, and then we are good to go. First, tell me, is it clear? The concept of RAG. Anyone who is not able to understand? Agents is out of the context of this class. I will study them separately. Right now we are just studying about RAM. Yeah.
Sir, like I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, based on the question embedding, it matches with the knowledge base embedding, and the chunk will be selected. And when passing to the LLM, the
Yes.
question and the chunk will be passed, right, sir?
Yes.
So, so the LLM reads the chunk and it describes the chunk property, right, sir?
LLM
Like,
will read the chunk, whatever text is there, right? And based on that,
yes,
user question will be there. It will be answered.
fine. So directly the information from the document is passed and described as an answer.
Yeah. So what is happening that technically, remember, let's say your book has 100 chapters. So not every chapter is going to LLM. Based on the question, automatically the relevant chapter is selected and it is passed to LLM, and LLM answers that.
Sir, one question on that, sir. The answer will be more relevant to the document rather than if we directly ask to LLM
Of course,
about this,
more
if it
relevant to
doesn't
document.
know, it will blabber about it, right?
Of course, it will be more relevant to document. Why otherwise why are you using RAG? Otherwise, we will simply pass the question to LLM. We are passing RAG, using RAG because we want answers based on our document only. We don't want outside answers.
Fine, sir.
Is it clear, guys? Let me show a small working example of this. I show it every time, but just see this once. So let me see if I have any PDF. Just checking if I have any PDF. I'll take my resume maybe. Okay, so let's so I'll put my resume maybe here, or you can import URL as well, right? For example, let's put a URL as well. It is accepting from URL as well. So let's take this. Okay, we entered URL. Okay, and okay, it only wants a PDF. Okay, that's the right. Let me upload a PDF only. Okay, so let's say this is my resume. I put it here. Um, I don't know, something wrong with this website. Okay, so what it is doing, it is basically, it has my resume now, right? Now what I can do simply, let's say I ask it that from let's say how many years of experience. Let's say I ask this question: how many years of experience 𝗖𝗵𝗁 has, right? So I have 9 years of experience. It has to fetch from my. Now remember, this is a very long PDF, right? I have like 3 to 4 pages. Now what will happen? It cannot pass the whole text. So what it will do, the moment you answer, you write down your question. Okay, see what will happen. Now it will show you these are the 2 chunks that it has produced. Based on my question, it selected P1 and P2. If you see P1, if you click on this, this is the P1, right? Which is it found more relevant to my experience, the yellow part, right? It passed to LLM, and LLM understood that, okay, I mentioned somewhere 9 years, and LLM was able to generate the answer. This is how it works. Is it clear? Let's say I ask it, where did I work in 2019? Okay. So it gave me my company where I was working in 2019. It will go to my resume, pick that thing, and generate the answer for me. Okay. If you click on this, that is how it is doing. Okay. Is the concept clear?
Yeah.
So what is happening in the backend, that your documents chunks will be created based on the user question. Relevant chunks will be taken, just like here. Relevant chunks were taken, right? P1 and P2, not the whole document, only the relevant chunk were taken. They were passed to LLM, and LLM generated the answer. Fine, everyone. Shall we move to the code?
Satvik,
Yes, please.
just one doubt. That is like whatever is the user question that is being embedded, and based on that is based on the search, we are selecting a chunk. So
Yes.
where will this process take place? It's not inside the LLM, right? Because we have not passed anything to the LLM right now.
No,
Am I
this
right?
process happens in vector database. Remember I told you. So
Okay.
vector database, we will see what this semantic search will happen inside the vector database. So vector database is built for this, for semantic searches.
Okay, so inside the vector database only, this chunking of the document also happens inside the vector
Chunking will happen.
database.
We will do chunk outside. So chunking we will do outside in our normal regular code, right? After chunking, we will send our chunks to embedding in a vector database. Okay. Now,
Okay, so
yeah.
No, you please continue.
So after the chunks, after the embedding which are stored into vector database, now I need to fetch the relevant chunks. So that relevant chunk finding, that is done through semantic match, and that happens in vector database. That does not happen outside, because vector database provides that flexibility so that you can pick the most relevant variables, column,
Okay.
whatever it is needed.
Okay, so basically the use of vector database is like to store the chunks and also to do a
Store the
semantic
embeddings,
search.
store the chunks in form of embeddings.
Okay, okay. And also like in the vector DB only we are doing the cosine similarity also.
Yeah, in the vector DB. If you see here, whenever we create any vector database, right, we provide a metric cosine, right? So it basically whatever search you do. So think like this, all these vector embeddings are there, okay? And whenever you ask a question, it will tell you the most closest one based on your cosine similarity.
Okay, okay, fine. And here we'll be using the Pinecone vector DB.
We are using Pinecone. There are more like ChromaDB. There is FAS. There is AstraDB. There are a lot of in the market.
Okay, so each company might be using a different, but working will almost be similar.
See, I'll tell you, in the major companies that you will see, you will find Pinecone is there, but a lot of companies use FAS as well, depending upon the, yeah, again, it depends upon the company. My company uses Pinecone, but like I've seen other companies, a lot of companies use Cassandra, a lot of companies use some other type. There's a PG vector, Postgres vector database as well. So depends on your company, but the concept remains same. Only the syntax will vary. That how do you basically retrieve the retrieve the relevant elements. The syntax will vary, but rest all will remain same.
Okay, okay, fine. Got it.
Pinecone is expensive, but it is right now it is free for for basic project. It is free. That's why I'm going through it. And
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So guys, let's move towards the last part. Let's do the coding, right? And I'll explain you. So do you guys want me to write down the code one by one line, or just explain the code how you want it? Depending on you guys say, we can build it as well. Okay.
Better to write the code.
Okay. I will write down a little fast. Okay. And you guys just follow with me so that you understand what I, because if I put the whole code, I mean that you can understand from outside as well. But let me write down the whole code. Right. So please right now don't see, copy pasting is not a problem. Thing is that let me write it down. You guys don't write down now. You guys just follow me because time is over 2 hours. I just want to finish up in next 15 minutes. Okay. But I will not rush in. I will explain every concept of code, but the RAG concept is clear to everyone, right? So what is happening? So what will be our project outline now? If I think like this, I will fetch. So just last thing, I have my web page, right? So I will take a web page, correct? So what I will do from the web page, so let's build the project architecture. The project architecture, this is my web page. What will I do with the web page? Guys, tell me, what will I do with the web page? I'll scrape the web page. Okay.
Yeah, basically you will chunk and you will put it in embeddings.
Yes. So I'll scrape my web page. Okay. So after scraping, I will get my knowledge base, or scrape, web scraping, cleaning, everything comes in this, right? After this, I will get my knowledge base. Okay. Knowledge base, I will chunk, and then I will store in a vector database, right? So I will basically chunk it and store in a vector database, correct? This is my project architecture. And once I have put it in a vector DB, so this is my first step, and the second part remains same. User question, right? User question will be there. I'll do semantic matching, okay, and I will pass the relevant chunk to LLM to generate the answer. Is it clear to everyone? This is this is how what my project is going to be. All clear?
Yes, sir.
Any architecture doubt? Okay, now I'm going to do the coding. I'll do a little fast, but try explain you guys as well parallelly, don't worry. Okay, so I'll be using LangChain, Pinecone. LangChain again is a Python library which is used to connect and all this, but so this is the project architecture. Now let's go to the code. Okay, so what I will do, I've created this webscript.py file. Okay, if you see, so I have this file, I have a function basically which is scrape and clean, and it gives me the data. So what I will do, I'll create a main.py file which contains my, or you can say rag.py, whatever you want to say. Okay, now first of all, I need this function in my other Python code. So how to do that? From web scrape, I'll say that from web scrape import, what is the function name? Scrape and clean. Okay, I'll import from that. This is the first thing that I'm doing. Okay, then I have to do couple of okay, so let's write down the step 1. So step 1 is web scrape. Okay, step 2 is chunk it and embed chunk. Step 3, embed it. Okay, and step 4, is match. Okay, this is what we are going to build. So let's start doing all this. So let's do the step 1 first of all. Okay, so step 1. Okay, so this is I'm importing. So this function, what does this function do? Tell me.
Scrape the content.
This function takes any URL and basically it gives the text content. So let's do the step 1 first of all. Okay, so what will I do? I will use the function, the scrape and clean. So let's say that my URL is equal to, it is present in my other page, right? Let's copy this URL from here. So let's say my URL is this. Okay, and I will simply use the function. Let's say, yes, please.
Sir, can you paste the URL in the chat, sir?
I pasted it. You can use any URL. It is not required to use this URL only. You can use any URL. Okay, so this text is what? I will simply use the function scrape and clean, and I will pass the URL variable URL. Okay, now this is done. So now what I need to do? Print text. Let's see if it is showing me. Let's see if it is giving me the text from this URL. So yes, I am getting the text from the URL. So my first step is done. Okay, now come the step 2, chunking. Step 2, which is chunking. So in the chunking, there are a lot of methods. We will be using LangChain for this. Okay, LangChain provides a lot of text splitter. So remember, in the requirement, go write down LangChain. Okay, write down LangChain OpenAI. Okay, so I will write down pip install LangChain OpenAI. Okay, so this, it will be downloaded from here. Now let's go to rag folder. So what I need to do is I need to from LangChain.text splitters. There's a library LangChain.text splitters. You need to import. There's a library called as a character text splitter. Okay, there are a lot of text splitter, recursive and all that as well, but it's fine. So step 2 is chunking. Okay, so how is chunking done? Let's see that. So we have the Where is my variable stored? Where is my string stored? Tell me. My knowledge base is present in which variable? Okay, my knowledge base is present in text variable. Guys, you need to please little be attentive. I need just 10 more minutes, 10-15 minutes. Okay, so now how will we do this? How will we do the chunking part? So chunking part, we have to create a variable called as text underscore splitter. We will use this class that we have imported from here, character text splitter. So we'll say character text splitter, and there are some variables which you need to pass. So that is, first is separator. I'll explain you what does it mean. Okay. And then there will be chunk size. Just a second. Character text splitters. Just a second. Splitter. Lang chain splitters. Separator is equal to this. Why is it not given? Text underscore splitter is equal to character text splitter. Separator overlap. Why the variables are not coming up? Just give me 1 second. Lang chain dot prompts prompt template. Okay. So text splitter is a character text splitter. I think there is something wrong with this lang chain dot text splitters. Lang chain. Okay, this is the wrong one. Lang chain dot text splitter import character text splitter. Yeah, I was doing it wrong. Okay, so you will use text splitter equal to this. You'll say separator equal to blank. You will give, after that you will give chunk size what is wrong with this man? Character text splitter. Let me just cross check. I have that. If I'm not using it wrong, where is it? Yeah, it is this one only. No? Character text splitter. Yeah. So this is separator. Okay. So what does it do? That whatever text you have right now, okay, it will basically create chunks. At now you can vary this, right? You need to give a chunk size basically. So 250 means that after every 250 character you want to split. Okay. Chunk overlap means how many overlap you want between the two chunks, right? That the last few characters of previous chunk and first few character of next chunk, they can overlap, they may not. You can put it as 0, you can put it as, generally it is 10% of your chunk size, so the 10% will become 25. That's what you do. Okay, so this is the chunking. Okay, and after that what you will do, you will simply split it. So now you've created this function. So now you will say chunks is equal to text splitter, and you will pass this text variable which you created here. Okay, now you can simply see this. These chunks will be present in form of a list. Okay, so what you can do is let me do one thing. Print chunks. Okay, this chunks is a library, is a list. Okay, so object is not callable. What has happened? Character text splitter object is not callable. LangChain.text splitter. Let me check if I have done it correctly. LangChain.text_splitter. Okay. Object is not callable. I said something. Character text splitter. Wait a second. Text is this chunks. Just give me a minute, okay? From LangChain.text splitter, you download that, right? And then you just apply it as this full text. There's nothing wrong in it. Just thinking, what's
It's text splitter dot split text.
oh shit. Yeah, right. My bad. Okay, so dot split, you will basically split your text, right? And you can basically print, see all these chunks here. If you just run this code, yeah, if you see here now, see this is chunk 0, okay, and you have got these chunks here. Then you have chunk 1, and then you have chunk 2, chunk 3. So you have basically split your document into several chunks. So this is the first part. All clear with everyone? Anyways, I'll share the code. You can have it. Sometimes like we also forget. So this is how it is done. Okay. Now comes the next part, the step 3, that we have to embed it. To embed it, the first that you need to do is set up Pinecone. Okay. Set up Pinecone. Now there are multiple methods to do that. So simple method, what we can do, simply go Pinecone. It provides you all the logic how to do. Remember, you don't need to remember these codes. These are present in the documentation of them, of there. So you say rag chat, let's say delete it. Okay. Yeah. So if you see, it automatically shows. First of all, install Pinecone. So what you need to do, you need to go in your project, install pip install Pinecone. Okay. You can put it in the requirement as well, Pinecone, and then I'll go to rag. Now what I need to do, you need to have this API key, basically, which Pinecone provides. So what we can do is simply copy this and go. So what you have to do, you have to provide an API key. Now API key, you can get it from this. Just go to this API key. I've like created a lot of, you simply can go name it maybe any test. Okay, you'll get some API key, copy this API key from here and put into your code. You can directly pass through here, or you can put it in an environment variable, which I will show you. Okay, so this is how it is done. Now the next step is to set up. Remember, what we call a table in a SQL database is called an index in a vector database. So we have to create an index. So create index means create a table. And how it is done, they have given the whole code. So I'll explain you what does this code mean. That you will simply copy this, just name your table. Let's say I want to give it rag chatbot. Okay, and index name, it will be this cosine, and this dimension depends upon the what embedding model you're using. Right now I'm using OpenAI embeddings, so it will have 1536 dimensions. Okay, so 1536 dimension it will have. That is something static. You can check with your model, whatever it is, and rest same. You don't need to touch anything else. Simply change the name what you want to keep, and basically change the dimension as per your embedding model. So for GPT, it's 1536. Now, once you run it, remember, you'll see here right now it is blank. There's no database here. But once I run this code, let's do one thing. Let's do them parallelly. Okay. So okay, now this database is now once I reload this page, I'll be able to see a database named as RAG chatbot. This is what I created. Right now it is empty, but this is something that I created, 1536 and all this. Okay.
How you synced it?
Through API key.
Okay.
This is the API key, right? You'll sync through it.
So
now,
we can use it here as well. We can create .env also, no?
Yeah, I'll do I will show you .env method as well. Okay. Now just comment this part, okay? Because we don't want to create it again and again. Now what we have done, now we need to upload our files. So what we have done, we have created chunks. Now we need to create their embeddings and upload them. Now to create embeddings, I will use from LangChain, OpenAI, import OpenAI embeddings. Okay, this is the embedding model from OpenAI. Okay, so what you need to do is simple. Step 4 is step 4. Step 4. Create embeddings and upload chunks to vector.db. Okay, so how to create embeddings? So remember, you need to get the OpenAI key. So how to get it? I'm showing you quickly. Simply go to openai.com. Okay, and log in there. This is for those who are doing for the first time. Log in there, go to your profile, and you will see user API keys. And like I have created a lot of, you simply do one thing, call it test 3, and you will have a secret API key. Copy it. Now another method to do is, because we don't want to pass our API keys and variables directly here. So what we do is we create a .env file. Means all my variables which I don't want to reveal to others. So I'll put here OpenAI _API _key. This. So see, there are two methods. Either I can pass through .env file, or I can pass it just like here as well. Okay. So web scrap chunking. Yeah, remove this part.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, what about open source embeddings, sir?
There are, I mean, I cannot cover everything in right now, but there are a lot of open source embedding models. You can check that.
No, sir, I don't have that OpenAI API key, because when I should deploy tomorrow, I should run the project, right? So that how can I integrate it?
So in sentence transformer, you can check some models are there. I'll share you code. There are, but OpenAI you can run. What is the problem with it?
Sir, I should pay to get the API key, right?
No, you should not pay to get API key. You should pay whenever you use it. Just for 1 or 2 calls, it will hardly cost you 5-10 rupees. But just to test, you can use that. Don't use for long project. For long-term project, use sentence transformer, and it has open source models. Like there are a lot of. I'll share you the code for that. How to get that.
Okay.
Okay. So instead of passing API key here, as I mentioned, you can pass it in the .env file. Okay. So you will say find cone _API _key equal to this. Okay. Why this step is required? Because these are your secrets you don't want to share with others. So now what you will do, you will remove this. You'll simply remove this from here. But now what you need to do, you need to import those variables in your code. Like from .env, you need to import them into your code. So for that, you need to use another library, pip install python.n. Okay, this library is used to import from your .env file whatever environment variables are there to load into your this. So python.n. Okay, this is there. So we will do from .n import load.n and then load.n you'll say. So this step will basically load your variables from outside here. Now what do you need to create the embeddings? So to create embeddings, I will do say embeddings equal to open AI embeddings. Okay, and so open AI embeddings key, I don't, yeah, just use this as blank. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to take the chunks one by one and push them to vector database. Okay, now follow this part very carefully, right? And this is just the last part. After that, I'll just copy the code from there and I'll explain, because rest all is just static code. So what will happen, that this chunks variable that you have created, it is a list, right? You want to step by step upload this particular chunks into your vector database. So how can you enumerate through a list? By using which loop? If you have to enumerate through a list, how do you do that? Yeah, simply we'll use for loop. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do for, guys, doubts I will take after just 5 minutes. Just let me complete the coding. Okay, for I comma chunk, okay, in enumerate your chunks. So this is your chunks variable. Okay, it is a list of all the chunks. So what do you want to do? First of all, you want to create, so you're iterating through each chunk, create its embedding and push it to vector database. So 2 steps are there. Okay, so what is there? Iterate through each chunk, create embedding and push embedding to vector database. Okay, this is what we need to do. What did it show? Sorry, from where did this come? Okay, so these are the 3 steps I need to do inside this. So what I'm doing here, first of all, I will create embedding. So I'll say for each chunk underscore embedding, what I will do, I'll say embeddings, okay, dot embed query. There's a method called embed query. Okay, and you simply need to embed chunk, whatever chunk you are embedding. Okay, this is your first step, converting it into an embedding. Okay, so you're taking the embedding model, embeddings.embed query, you are embedding that, and now what you'll do, you'll push it into your index. Index means vector database. Okay, so index.upsert, so use the method upsert. Okay, index.upsert, and where is index? Sorry, it is index. So index.upsert, now you need to pass a method index.upsert. Yeah. Okay, so you'll upload 3 things there in vector database. What all, remember what all things, what will exactly happen in your vector database? Tell me. What you will do, you will first of all semantically compare, right? Semantic search and return. What will you return? Will you return embedding or will you return chunk?
Chunk.
You'll return chunk, right? So you need to pass 2 things to your vector database, embedding and chunk, both. So in upsert method, I'm going to pass few things. So I'm going to give it a number that chunk 1 is going, chunk 2 is going, whatever it is. Okay. Second is chunk embedding, which this variable that I created, chunk underscore embedding. And in metadata, so metadata means an additional information, right? I'm going to pass this chunk value so that whenever I get, you can say text or chunk underscore text. Okay. so that you can get it. So we'll compare based on your embedding, and you will return your chunks. Got it? And this is all the part that you needed. Now you have pushed everything to your basically vector database. Any doubt in this code? I will run it to show you that this is actually getting pushed.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, that last line alone again, can you explain, sir?
What did I tell you? There are 3 steps happening.
That index dot upsert.
Sorry?
Yes, sir, that index dot upsert, that chunk text equal to chunk.
Tell me what all things you need in vector. What will be happening in vector database?
Like in the vector database, we will store the information as embedding, sir.
So embedding
and
will be
when the
there,
question is
and
asked, it will do similarity search and return the chunk as the answer.
right? So what do you need in the vector database? You need chunk embedding and you need chunk text, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am uploading 3 things in my vector database. One, I've just created random ID so that I can trace them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Chunk. So I'm passing the embedding. This is the first. So ID number 1. Okay. Embedding, first embedding will go, and then I'm adding a dictionary, which is basically a metadata, that the chunk description, which you will see there.
Okay, sir.
Oh, is it clear?
And the chunk text string is what? What is that, sir? Chunk
It will
text
be
string.
named as
Actually,
chunk text. So in the table, you will see the variable name as chunk text. Okay. You can name it anything. You can name it anything. You can call it metadata. What is just like a variable name in a table. Okay. Content. You can say content. Okay. Is it clear? Anyone, any doubt? Okay, so let me run it. Let's see. Upper, where is it talking about? Upsert. String object is not upsert. Index dot upsert. Okay, sorry, my bad. I think I need to enter a yes there, then it will work. String object has I think I just missed some bracket. I'm just copying in because from there I missed some paragraph or some variable. So this is what you will do. Just let me copy this line. I think I missed some bracket or something, so I'm just doing that. Okay, you can check that. String object has no. Why is it showing like this? Okay, forget the string. We'll simply upload chunk. Simply upload. So this is there. String at object has no index is equal to rag. Oh shit, it should be PC dot PC is equal to pinecone. Let me just cross check the code if I missed anything. So it is index equal to PC dot index name. Sorry, I didn't create this. My bad. So this has to be index underscore name. Okay. Now rest remains same. See, these things will happen when you run your code. You just need to check, go back, and it's fine. So now it will work. Code was complete. It was just that I commented one extra thing. So we need to create an index name here. That's what it is. Again, this information is given in the Pinecone, so you are not missing any logic, right? Every vector database has different methods, so even you forget that how it works, but it's fine. So now it should work. Yeah, now it will work. See, now I will see the information in my vector database. If I go here, let's see, this was blank right now. Okay, now once I refresh the page, see, I have got the embeddings, right? I've got 7 embeddings. If you see what I was meaning by text, let's see, let's explore this. So this is the embedding. This is the ID which I created. This is the text that we named, right? So, and this is the embedding. So every time you give a question, it will compare with this value and return you this particular text. Okay, this is what we were coding. Clear, guys? Any doubt, anyone?
Satvik,
Yes.
in the Pinecone, initially you created some code, you copied some code, and you put hashtag, right? So that to be run only one time, or how?
Basically, it's a creation. It's a creation of database. You don't want to create again and again, right? You just that's why you commented it. So
Okay,
you
yeah,
just
this
create
one,
an index. You just add things. That's why you commented.
Okay. So
Don't
that
want to
the RAG chatbot will be created in the Pinecone.
Yes, RAG. So yeah, RAG chatbot will be created in Pinecone. Okay.
Okay.
Now, guys, simply you need to pass the user question, convert to chunk. I'll explain you the last part through the code. मैं copy करके दिखा देता हूँ so that because time is running, right? So let me just explain you the last part. It's very simple. So once you have run this, right, what is happening? Now remember, you need to have this from LangChain, OpenAI. You need to import chat OpenAI. So chat OpenAI is basically when you want to connect to chat GPT or GPT models. So use chat OpenAI. Okay. So now what you will do, you'll create this LLM object. LLM is equal to chat OpenAI GPT-4 model. I'm selecting. You can select any model. It's up to you. And then you can set a temperature. Okay. Now comes the main part. You'll put user question here. Okay. So user will so you have created a variable query. In this query, whatever, so what will happen when I will run the code, I'll see a prompt to type the question. So whenever you type the question, that will be saved in this variable query. So query is the user question. Okay. So what will we do? After that, we'll create the, what should be the next step after getting the user question? What should be the next step after getting the
converted into embedding and
embeddings
to the database?
So how did I create an embedding? Like this embed query, right? Remember, this is specific to Pinecone. For other database, it will be method will be different. You don't need to remember everything. You can simply check the documentation. Okay. So you'll take the user question, convert it into embedding from here. Okay. And after that, this is the place where you are retrieving. So now what you're doing, after converting the user question into embedding, you need to query the database. So the index.query, you will compare against the query embedding and you will retrieve. You can vary this. Let's say I want top 2 result, I want top 3 result, whatever you want. I'm just keeping top 1 result. Okay. And include metadata equal to true so that you also get the text, what we created, the chunk value, right? So this is what it is. Please let me know if you have any doubt in this particular method.
Okay, like Satvik, you have created a temperature is equal to 0. What happens if you create temperature of high value?
Temperature of high value means random answers will come. You will not get the perfect answers.
Okay, so it is okay to put a very less value. That is
by default, keep it 0. If you are creating a knowledge-based chatbots, keep it 0.
Okay.
We keep temperature high when we are creating images so that we can.
Okay, tell me the optimal value for PDF generation.
0. Keep it 0.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me, guys, any doubt till this particular part of the code? If anyone has any doubt in this part.
Good to go.
Good to go, right?
Yeah.
So this result variable will basically fetch you the top 1 or top 2, whatever information you want. Okay. Now let us say you are getting multiple values. Let's say 2 or 3. You're getting 3 here or 4 results. You just want to combine them in a single string. So this augmented text variable is created so that you can combine all multiple things into a single string. All this is here. If you're using k equal to 1, we don't need this. If we want k greater than 1, then we need to text join them in a single text. Okay, this is what it is. So this variable augmented text is something which we will need. So based on the user question, this variable will contain the relevant text which we are retrieving from the vector database. Okay. Now comes the last part, the LLM part. So you'll simply create a prompt. How to create a prompt? Again, we have videos. I'll explain, but you'll use the method prompt template. Okay. There are 2 variables you will pass. So this is the prompt you will write. You are a helpful assistant. Use the context provided to answer the question. Only use this context, not your knowledge. Like you have to specifically prompt it so that it does not go outside of your knowledge database. So you will pass the user question dynamically here in form of a variable, and you'll give the context, the augmented context also as a variable. So every time user asks a question, these 2 variables will be dynamically changing. Okay. So your prompt will be different every time. Is it clear? Any doubt in this? Anyone?
Where do you explicitly provided if it is like a out of information, it should reply like this is nowhere found, something like that, right?
You can write those things. I mean, you can write those things in the prompt. I have not written, but you can write them.
No.
You can write, for example, let's say write it down here now, that if user ask simply here write, if user ask extra information, if user asks outside information, say reply it's beyond my scope. Okay, something like this. It's beyond my scope. So you can put that in chat in prompt, and anything that you want. Okay, main thing is passing these 2 variables. Okay. Okay. After that, you will set up, you'll say take this prompt, pass into LLM. So this is a chain that you will create. You'll say that take the prompt, pass into LLM. Okay. And to run a chain, basically you need to invoke. Remember, we have created these variables. We need to pass them. So we are passing them here, chain.invoke method. This is a LangChain method. Again, I'm not going in detail because this is not a LangChain class, but yeah, this is how you do in a LangChain, that you simply write down the augmented text you'll provide, the question you will provide. Okay. And then to check output, what we will do, we will check that. Okay. But this is the code. This code is completed now. We have everything sorted. Okay. Anyone, any doubt in the code? I will now just show you the results and we are done with the class. Anyone, any doubt in the code part before I run the results?
Sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, when you created the Pinecone database, I didn't listen at the moment, sir. How did you create that Pinecone database, sir?
Here it is.
Copied a code and you ran it, and
I copied a code from Pinecone website.
Commented it, sir. Right, sir.
Yes.
Can you, like, how did you create it, sir? Like, how did you run it, sir?
Uncomment it and run it. It will automatically run it. This code create a database in the Pinecone.
Should I separately? I should in a
you can
separate
run it,
file.
You can run it in a separate code file as well. What is the doubt? I'm not getting.
No, sir. Like I created a Pinecone database right now, sir. From in this py file, how did you create it? That one is a right out. Now you said we should uncomment it, and you can
simply
just show it.
Simply uncomment it, run the code. It will be created. Let me show you in a separate file.
Yes, sir.
For a first time, we should run it. Later, then we can uncomment.
Later, then simply let's call
once it is created in the Pinecone, we can uncomment it.
Yeah,
right?
you can uncomment it. You don't need it because it will only create issues later on, right? You don't want to create again and again. You don't want, right? So simply, where is rag.py? This is. test2.py. You just need to run this. Now I'll just change the name this time. I'll say chatbot2. Okay. And everything is same. Index is equal to okay. Now let's go to our vector database. Let's see.
Sir,
This is it. Yeah.
so the .env runs the Pinecone API key in this environment.
In the backend. Yes. Okay. Now you will simply do one thing. You will run this code. A new index with name chatbot2 will be created. See this. Okay. Now let's go here. Refresh the page. You'll see chatbot2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you don't need to run it again and again. Simply run once and then comment it, so that you don't have to like you run it again. Okay. Otherwise, it will give you an error that same index exists, something like that. Okay.
No, you commented. Correct. Yes.
Okay. So now this is the code. Anyone any doubt in the code? We have like 100 lines of code, but it's logically, if you see, it is pretty easy. Some syntax is there. It's fine if you don't remember, but okay. Is everyone good with it?
Yes, sir. Like, I have a small request or answer.
Yes.
In case of model, I can use chat grok, so it is not a problem, sir.
You can use any model. You can use any model.
Sir, like I am speaking about open source. In case of embeddings, the syntax alone can you send for this same code, sir? Like for using this embedding, like from Hugging Face, any type of embeddings.
Yeah, so you can
instead of open embeddings.
You can search and you simply need to change this only, nothing else.
Like that OpenAI embeddings instead of that the normal function from the
normal.
open source.
You can use sentence transformer, download pip install sentence transformer. There are a lot of models there. I'll send you some code which I have.
Okay, sir, you can share it.
Yeah. Okay. Now simply run this. So I think everyone is good. Now let's test it, and we are good to go then. Okay. So let's run this. See, now it is asking a question. Okay. Based on the web page. So now let's say I ask how many products are there in stock. Okay. So it will go to the backend. It will generate the answer. There are 22 products in the stock. Okay. What you can also do is instead of simply, for example, you can also see what all relevant chunks is it taking out. So for example, let's uncomment this. Okay. So print retrieve text. So now you will see for every question what text was retrieved. So let's do one thing. Let's better show it into the UI part. I have the UI ready, right? So you can directly see from there. So where is it? Rag web. Did it delete it or what? Open desktop rag web. Oh, it's not there. Wait a second. Which file was it there? Rag. Okay. Anyways, let me download it from this part. I'll just run the front end and show you that how it will be done. So just 2 more minutes. Enterprise chatbot. Okay. Copy. Side desktop git clone. Okay, so I just need to do one thing. First, let me copy my rag new, copy my both variables. Okay, and let's open this folder, enterprise chatbot, right? So .env, sorry, .env. Okay, and now I simply need to run a Python terminal. So Python 3 rag source rag / bin / activate. Okay, and I'll do pip install r requirements.txt. We download it. So it will download everything at one go. You don't need to like write manual codes. Okay, and same thing which I run at the start of the class, I'll show you. It was created, and I'll send you the code for sentence transformer, those who don't want to use OpenAI model. So this is done. Now simply run this file frontend.py. Let's run this. Okay, pip install Python.n. Okay, now let's run this. So what happened? Resource rag chat was not found. Actually deleted some folder, that's what I'm thinking. Client.get. Okay, anyways, you can run that on your system and check that code is working totally frontend.py. I think I deleted some folder from my system. That's why it's showing that error. Endpoint.path header is equal to query parameters. Source rag chat. Okay, rag. Okay, I have deleted actually from the Pinecone, the rag chat table I have deleted. So what I need to do simply in the front end, yeah, just give me a second. What we can do, this rag chat, right? So we just need to check what is the name that we are having. We have rag chatbot, right? We have variables in this. Okay, so I'll rename it rag chatbot. Yeah, that's why it was giving an error. Yeah, now it will run. Streamlit will run. Okay. Now see, this UI is there. Okay. Now what will happen? So this was my web page, right? So this was my web page. I'll ask any question. For example, I'm just showing for what is the UPC number, for example. What is the UPC number for the product? Okay. So what will happen? You can change a lot of things. Like you can select this show text chunks. So all the chunks that are created, you can see here. Or suppose you want to see the context chunk, which is used to answer the question. So whenever you will put any question, you can basically see what is the relevant chunk. Suppose you want to change top K, you want that, oh no, instead of 3, I want only 1. You can change it from here. The temperature part also you can change from here. Generally keep it 0, right? So those things you can play around. Again, that is UI part. You don't need to worry about that. But I'm just telling you, now once you run this, it will check the answer. It will context does not provide the information. So let me do one thing. Let's increase it to 2. Now let's run. Yeah. So UPC number, the product was this. Okay. So that's how it used these context as chunks to find the answer, and it was able to generate. So this is about the project, guys, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Satvik, one doubt actually. Whenever the user give the prompt, it takes some buffer time, right? If you take, for example, a DeepSeek, if you give a particular prompt, it's taking too many response time to generate an answer. What is the shortcut to reduce that response time?
Response time for what?
Response time for a user query. See, take for example, what is the UPC number for a product? It took around 5 seconds to retrieve the answer.
It will take. It will take that much time.
Okay, there is any shortcuts to? I mean,
there are a lot of shortcuts to avoid it. To basically, again, that's a whole lot of like that comes into the performance optimization, where you basically run in a batch process, like a lot of things, those things you do. But
okay.
again,
So that knowledge base also play a vital role in the response time, right?
yeah, of course. You see, you are doing semantic search. It takes at least 1 to 2 seconds to do a semantic search. When you're chunking it, right? Chunking takes some time. And when you suppose your documentation is very big, so it will take some time to do the semantic search, right? So sometime you cannot avoid. Sometime you can avoid. So that I will teach you in a separate session. But there are methods to optimize. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So this was it, right? Now tomorrow we'll study how to push this code to GitHub, take it to deployment, and how do we basically run this in form of a link, like so that I can give that link to anyone and anyone can simply chat with it. Right now, this is running on my system, right? I want to show you guys that how can you create a URL for this application and send to people so that you can use it. So we will study about creating API, we'll study about creating Docker image, we'll study about using GitHub Actions. Okay, so thanks guys. This was me for today. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, let's connect tomorrow same time. I hope you guys learned something. I was little quick because this was more of a project workshop, not concept workshop, so I didn't spend much time, but still I tried my best. Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you have any question, please let me know. Otherwise, feel free to drop. Let's connect tomorrow. Yeah.
Sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, it's just a general Q&A, sir.
Yeah, you can ask anything.
Sir, I mean, like I have a general question, sir.
Let others complete. If there's no project related question, then we will take that.
Yeah. One thing, Satvik, please send me this recorded video as well as the code.
GitHub link I have already shared, guys, right in the chat box. Please take it from there. Recording video I will send after the second class, because
okay. Can you please open the GitHub 1 minute?
Yes.
Okay. The thing what we need to look into for code is frontend.py.
You need to look at this webscript.py. This contains the web script file. Okay.
Okay, that is you contain function here. Okay.
And then you need to look at the main.py. Backend part.
In requirement, all the libraries are there. I can install it.
All the libraries are there. Frontend. If you want to run the front end, you can see that, but it is not required. I mean, I've just given you the code.
Or else I can see the output as per the query in the terminal.
Yeah, in the main.py, you can run and you can check the output. Okay.
Okay.
This file is random. You can delete it. Git ignore. I will tell you tomorrow why it is used. But yeah. And you need to put your own environment variables, right? So these are the 3 files that you need actually. So try this code.
Platform what we need to use like Pinecone, right?
Pinecone, yes.
Okay. Okay then. Yeah, thanks. It was an interesting session. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. So try this project on your own, guys, right? Tomorrow we'll study about the deployment and we'll see. We'll take it. So this is the first part of any AI project. With this you'll find anywhere. The main thing comes after this. I mean, this is also the main thing, just that in company you need to know a little bit about the deployment as well, that how things get deployed. So we will study that, how to create APIs, how to create different things. But yeah. So yeah, guys, if you have any question, anything, any feedback also, if you didn't like something, let me know, please. Right now or in text, you can ping me. Okay. Again, as I mentioned, this was not a concept. I didn't deep dive into LangChain and all that because this is not a LangChain class. This was just a first part of our whole project workshop. Okay. Thank you guys. Yeah, please feel free to leave if you have no question, and we'll connect tomorrow 8 p.m. IST. Okay.
Where can I get this recording, Satvik?
I told you it will take me at least 5-6 hours. I get recording little late. I don't get instantly. So once I get it, I will share with you guys. Okay. So maybe check with me tomorrow. Okay. And check with me tomorrow after 7 or 8 a.m. Okay. OpenAI API is not free. You can create API for free, but once you run, like for 10 to 12 API calls, it will not cost you more than 10-20 rupees. Right? Just for testing out this project, it will not cost you more than 50 rupees, to be honest. Even if you run like 50-60 calls. Okay. So you can test it. Otherwise, I will tell you a method. You can use open source models as well. Right? But if you can spare 10-20 rupees, just try OpenAI, because OpenAI is used in companies. That's why I use that. Yeah, thank you. Anyone, any doubt, guys? I hope you guys learned something, right? Try this. This was a more practical. Please try the codes on your own. Don't just don't watch it as a video or movie. Okay. So yeah, if no one has any doubt, let me close the session, right? Anyone? Okay, guys, so I'm dropping off. Let's connect tomorrow then. Okay, same time. Thank you.